I am absolutely buzzing today, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got 6 brand new kits from Roland and we've got 2 of them in the studio. You're going to want to stick around to hear what they sound like. They sound absolutely mint. Let's get going. So yeah, 6 brand new kits from Roland. I'm very excited because we have 2 of them here in the studio, but I'm also buzzing because we have my V-drum brother from another mother. It's Michael Thomas from Roland. I can't think of anyone more qualified to talk about V-drums. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Very good, sir.
I'm good.
Could you tell us about the 6 new kits from Roland?
Absolutely. So firstly is the modules that power those 6 kits. We have the V31 module here and the V51 module there. And then in the V31 series, we have a TD313 and a TD316. And they feature new tom pads. And those new tom pads, the main thing about those is that they have a lower profile rim, which makes it a lot more natural feeling to play. Then you have the VAD316, which is what I'm sat at here, which the only new addition really is the KD18, which replaces the lower profile KD18 LBK, which came with the VAD307. Then we move on to the V51 series and we have the TD513, which has all analog pads, no digital pads with that one. But we have the TD516, which you're currently sat at, which is the first kit in the V51 series to feature digital pads. What we also have are new tom pads on this series as well, which feature, again, the lower profile rim, which makes it feel more natural to play. But there's also a new sensor design in those pads to reduce hotspotting, which also works in conjunction with the module to give you an improved feel. Then to finish off the V51 series, we have the VAD516, which only features, the only new pad on that series is the KD20MS, which is just a slightly larger playing surface for you to easily accommodate your double kick pedals.
Absolutely awesome. So it goes V71, V51 and V31. Let's start with the 51. So as I can see here, I've got my faders here, I've got my transport controls here, I've got a big LED screen there, and I've got sound modifying here, I've got the expansions and the setup. I can see there's 3 digital inputs, so yep. I can have hi-hat, snare and kick, as well as full MIDI on the side, and then there's more aux ins, is that right? Could you tell us a bit more about the difference between the 51 and then the 31? Yeah,
so the 31 is kind of seen as the simpler version to the V51, if you like. It's very much for the kind of person that just wants to plug in and play, basically. They want great sounds, just a practice kit, potentially a simple gigging kit such as the VAD316. But it's very much just plug and play. I mean, there's the easy edit button there if you need to change sounds very quickly, as well as, you know, just simple connections on the back. So as you rightly pointed out, the V51 module has 4 outputs, quite a few trigger inputs, whereas the V31 just has right and left master output, 2 additional trigger inputs, and the option of 1 digital trigger input as well for expansion at a later date.
Wicked. So the 3 modules, am I right in thinking they all have the same sound engine?
Yeah, that's correct. Right down to the fact that they all have the same amount of presets. They all have exactly the same presets. So there's 70 preset kits in each module, and then up to 200 is the amount of user kits, which allow you then to create and customize your own kits. But part of the sound set is when we launched the V71 module, there were brand new samples. So there's DW samples in there. So yeah, the integration of the same sound engine across, you know, all 3 modules has never been done in V-drums before, but now we're able to do it. It's very exciting.
So looking at the module again on the 31, you've got the headphone volume and the master in one switch, and then you've got the is that a Bluetooth switch I can see there?
So this knob here controls the backing volume.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's absolutely right. There's
Cool.
a Bluetooth switch where it controls the level of Bluetooth audio going into your module.
And in terms of routing, as you say, it's the 2 jack outputs.
Yep, 2 master jack outputs here on the back.
Yeah, and then you've got 1 headphone 1/4 inch on the front.
On the front here, yeah.
And then as you go up, which is awesome, because normally when you buy a new module, you think, oh, I've got more sounds, but same sounds. 51, we've got, as I mentioned earlier, well, looking at the upgrade or the difference, this one has the faders on the front. We've got a separate master and separate headphones as well, so that's quite nice. You can change the headphone volume in that within the menu as well, so that's cool. And then again, the backing. And then the transport controls are different. On the back, just tell us about the ins and outs. Tell us about the sort of differences between the outputs on the module.
So the difference is exactly like you rightly pointed out. The V51 module has 3 digital trigger inputs. So you can have the ride, snare, and hi-hat digital pads connected with the V51, and you also have an additional 4 trigger inputs. However, one of those is the Crash 2. So in all the V-Drum setups, there will be an additional 3 trigger inputs.
Got it. And little things, you've got the 2 headphone outputs on the front as well, which is cool. And then, so really this is kind of for stage really. So you can direct monitor out on this one, whereas you can't do that on the 31. But, you know, I send the kick to my sound guy and my snare separately, and then...
Exactly, because on the V51, you actually have 2 direct outputs as well, in addition to the 2 master outputs that you have on the V31, but you can completely reassign those outputs. So even the master outputs, you can essentially treat those as direct outputs, giving you 4 assignable outputs.
That's really cool. So I noticed that button there. What does Easy Edit do? And is that the same as Kit Edit on the 51?
Yeah.
It's literally just a different sort of shortcut to the same thing.
Absolutely. Like we mentioned earlier, the V31 is very much just designed as a setup and play, a plug in and play drum kit. So this Easy Edit button here just simply takes you to some very easily editable sounds. So you just press the Easy Edit button and then you can go through to tuning, muffling, volume. But what you can also do is when you're on the tuning and muffling, you can actually group the sounds. So where sounds are layered together, rather than just change the sounds individually, or the layers individually, sorry, you can actually group those sounds together and change them all at the same time. That being said, you know, there is still some deep dive editing available in the V31. You just have to go through it through the kit edit screen, rather than on the V51. It's you know, it's a bit more, or the option to deep dive is easily accessible.
So V31 module, V51 module, and then God himself.
V71.
The V71. All the same sounds, different functionality for different sort of drummers, really.
Absolutely, yeah. So it just depends on what you want as the player, what you want as the drummer. Do you need the digital pad set? Are you that kind of player? Do you need a live performance set? At which point you would be looking at a VAD, or do you just simply need a practice set? You know, can your practice space, your rehearsal space, accommodate a VAD kit, or do you need something smaller? At which point TD316 or TD313 would be perfect.
Okay, brilliant. So we spoke about the modules. Can we talk about the pads? What's new? Tell us a bit about the triggering and how these lovely mesh heads all talk to the module and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
you definitely qualified to tell us all about.
So the V31 and the TD313 and the 316 come with new tom pads, and they're simply just a lower profile rim, which makes it a lot more pleasant to play. And they replace the PDX pads that are currently on the TD17 series. But yeah, it's just a lower profile rim, which makes it a lot more pleasant to play. And it's very similar then to on the V51 series with the TD516 that you've got there and the TD513. The rims on those pads are again lower profile. So, you know, it makes rim shots a lot more pleasant, a lot easier to play, and keeps it sort of in keeping then with the TD716 that we released last year as well.
Am I right in thinking that the low profile reduces like hot spotting? Like, you know, you guys know what hot spotting is if you know about electronic drums, but also could you tell about the actual triggers inside of it as well?
Yeah, so the hot spotting that you're referring to, there is actually a new sensor design in those pads that you've got there on the TD516, and that new sensor design is based. There's 3 sensors in those pads that you've got there that are based around the center of the drum. So they're not in the center of the drum, they're around the center of the drum, and that reduces the hot spotting that you're talking about, which then the module, the V51 in your case, is able to distinguish between, you know, hot spotting and you know, an actual direct hit and velocity.
That's awesome. Thank you for explaining that. So I think I've got that right. So we've got 10 and 12 on the new pads, and then you've also got these pads which are current. Can we talk a bit about the digital pads as well? So the one I'm sat at is the already established PD140 DS snare, is that
Yes.
right? And am I right in thinking that the flagship, the top of the 5 series is the VAD516?
Yes.
And that has that snare on it, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, the PD14 DSX.
That has the strainer on it. So the one down on this one has that. But you can use any of these with either of the modules.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yeah. So we could, you know, for the upgrade on a V31 series kit, we could quite simply use the PD14 DSX.
That's awesome. So we've got these ones are the poplar wood shells, which look really cool as well. And there's a new kick, am I right in thinking? So this one's already established. That's
Yes.
And then there's an 18-inch kick, is that right?
So this is the 18-inch kick drum here.
Right.
The new kick that you're talking about, it would be on the VAD516,
Yeah.
which is the KD20 MS.
Right.
And simply the only real difference there is it's a larger trigger surface.
Cool.
For you to be able to accommodate your double kick pedal easily without having to shuffle the batter board around.
That's awesome. And lastly, the KD12 here, is that new?
So that's a current pad that is currently available on our TD713 as well.
Cool. So we've got 2 new pads essentially in 2 different sizes, and then different variations across the 2 modules.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we've spoken about the drums and all the pads. Let's talk a bit about the cymbals. So there's quite a mix. We've got digital ones and then standard ones. You've got nothing new in terms of cymbals, but if you could just talk us through what pads you get on which kit and how the upgrades work between the modules.
Yeah.
And just talk us through the cymbals.
Cool. So the cymbals that you get on the 3 series are VH10 hi-hats with the VAD316 and the TD316. With the TD313, then you get the CY5 and the FD9, which is a separate hi-hat pedal and a separate hi-hat pad. And then with the 5 series, then they all come with what we would call free-floating hi-hat. So that's either a VH10 on the 513 or the digital hi-hats on the TD and VAD516. And then, as you rightly pointed out, the digital ride with the TD 516 and VAD 516 as well.
Awesome. So yeah, you've got the established thin series as well as some of the digital ones.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love this hi-hat, by the way. This is the closest electronic hi-hat I've ever felt to the real thing. So I love it. And so if I was just to get a 3 series, I'd probably just use the 1 digital input for the hi-hats, I think. Wicked. So that's the pads. They feel incredible. I've only really seen these just recently, but I know what to expect from Roland. I just want to talk a bit more about how these actually behave when I'm playing them. So I was looking it up, and there's something called round robin. So from what I gather, this is the way the sample of the drum that we're hearing is recorded. So they'll do, like, for example, a full rim shot, and then they'll record that. And rather than just every time I hit it, it plays that back, we record it 5 times, and it sort of goes through it.
Yes.
Because every single one is different. Is that what it does? It sort of goes through the different samples at each velocity on every single pad.
That's exactly it.
That's mental.
So that's the way that the round robin works. And then we have the when you go into the V-edit sound, the V-edit options on the modules, that is then the behaviour modelling will then take over, and then basically simplified terms, the algorithm then kind of works out, right, okay, you're changing this, this will affect this frequency like this. And then that's the way our behavior modeling works as well.
Oh, that's how it works. What you actually, the benefit of that is it can pick up when you're doing a cross stick, it can pick up when you're doing a buzz roll.
Yes.
And like it adapts if you're doing a big, particularly on the cymbals, I notice it can tell if I'm sort of tapping in the middle or swelling, and it behaves, well, like an acoustic kit. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
behavior modeling, I suppose. Yeah. So it's not just like machine gunning. It's not just playing one sample over and over. We're getting some actual blend. It sounds different to the outside of the
Yes.
drum and different to the inside.
Absolutely.
That's why Roland drums feel like one of the best, in my opinion, because of like the actual behavior modeling. So yeah, round robin. Thank you for clearing that up. I think I've got that. And then yeah, some behavior modeling as well, and that's in all of the modules.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's, like you said earlier, that's down to the sound engine as well. That elimination of hotspotting and machine gunning, that's been brought down from the V71 as well.
So a cross stick is a cross stick, as well. Rim shot is a rim shot. Cool, so playing live, it feels amazing. It behaves like an acoustic kit. It sounds great as well. So when I'm not on stage, I'm not at band practice or whatever, I'm going to be recording this.
Yep.
One thing I noticed is if you plug this in via USB-C, it's 32 channels. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
those are stems, so they'll appear in your DAW as actual individual things. So you don't even have to mic it up, and it's not just like one audio recording. It actually...
Absolutely.
Is that
yeah,
right?
It's basically every individual voice of the drum kit coming in on its own channel. And that's with the V51 and the V31 and of course the V71 as well.
That's awesome.
So multi-track audio across all three modules.
So they're like standalone USB audio interfaces.
Absolutely.
For recording, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
For recording drums. I noticed you can route that as well, so you can have a separate monitor to what you're actually putting into your PC if you go into the settings, which is very exciting. More on that later. You've also got the onboard record feature as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yep. So the onboard record feature simply works exactly like the existing records on the TD17 and TD27, where you just simply need an SD card, pop it in the side, press the record on either 31 or 51, and then you can record both the audio and the MIDI data straight to your SD card. So just to reiterate, that's the audio and the MIDI that you can capture and save to your SD card, load up to your computer, and then edit how you need.
That's mad. So I'll be able to export a MIDI file and the audio file of my performance.
Yes.
And can I do that with a song as well, and separately? That's mad.
Yeah. So the audio that you're playing with on the SD card, you can export it with that, or you can just export the drum sound.
So onto the song player, just a bit about that. As always, we love the internal sounds of, of the Roland songs. They're the classic, but you can put on your own like wave files as well and play along to it.
Yep.
And then you can record yourself over that and then export it with or without and MIDI as well.
Yes.
That's mental. That's really cool. So we've spoken about the module, we've spoken about the direct outputs, we talk about recording, we talk about the pads, we talked about the frames. We should probably talk about DW. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
So those of you that didn't know, DW Drums, Drum Workshop, are now part of the Roland family. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's correct.
Could you tell us how DW is featured in these modules and what people can expect?
Absolutely. So you have DW, who have DW Soundworks, which is a VST, actually is compatible with the V31 and V-51 modules, and also V-71 as a standalone VST, or as a standalone piece of software, really, that you can just load up on your computer and you can play and trigger the DW Soundworks from the V-Drums module, but also the Roland Cloud kit packs, which currently exist for the V71, were also derived from DW Soundworks. So the kit packs, such as the DW 50th anniversary kits that you get on DW Soundworks, you can actually load into your V31 module, your V51 or V71 module. So the integration is there for all to see right now, which is incredible.
That's really exciting. So it keeps your kit fresh, and as the new packs come out, you can just upload them to your module. So it's
absolutely
it's future-proof.
you can buy them as a standalone purchase, one-off purchase, and you have that to keep. But that doesn't stop you from enjoying just the preset sounds. You don't need those DW Soundworks sounds, those Roland Cloud sounds for your V-Drums module. You can still use it like your old V-Drums module, essentially, by putting sounds in or using the preset kits.
Now, one thing I'm absolutely buzzing about, because I'm a nerd and I need to practice, and obviously being the best drummer of 2012 in the UK for the Roland V-Drums Championships 10 years ago, coach mode, right? I had a go on this thing earlier and I thought I had a good double stroke roll, but I really don't, and I need to practice. But yeah, can you talk us through the new coach functions, because some of them are really cool?
Absolutely.
And yeah.
No problem. So yes, as you rightly mentioned, there are some new coach functions available on the V31 and V51 module. You've got phrase trainer, you've also got stroke monitor and blast beat trainer as well. So just to show quickly, phrase trainer, because we've got the LCD color screen now, it means we can do some more things. We can include some more things. So just to show you phrase trainer, we've got some exercises, we've got grooves and fills as well. But what's even more impressive is it's actually notated for you. So, if you're a reading drummer or if you want to read, then you've got these built into your module ready for you to play and practice.
That's awesome. So that's not just rudiments. So it goes through, paradiddles, flams, everything, but it's got actual beats in there from loads of different tunes. And then when I was playing along, I could read. I'm a fairly okay sight reader, but it was telling me exactly like how in front of the beat and how I was behind it. And it color codes it, doesn't it?
That's exactly, that's exactly right. So if your note is circled purple, that's perfect. You're absolutely on point. If it's green, then you're slightly off, either ahead or behind. And then if it's yellow, you're a bit more behind or ahead.
Excellent. So that's the phrase trainer, which for any drummer really, however brilliant or beginner you are, you're going to get loads out of that. So it's got actual sheet music, beats and rudiments all in there, and you can change your tempos, slow it down and everything, and it turns into like a manuscript on your screen. I think that's absolutely awesome for education, for teachers and students. That's going to be a big game changer for the coach mode. So what else is in the coach mode as well? Just tell us about.
So you've also got time check.
Yep.
And that goes exactly like the current V-Drums series, which are shows how ahead or behind the beat you are or on the beat. You've also got quiet count, which is where the metronome plays for a set period of bars and then it drops out for a set period of bars to measure how your time is when the metronome isn't running. You've got auto up and down as well, which is where the metronome automatically increases and decreases.
So those three are already current, aren't they? So
yes,
but it's like a new look, and it's slightly improved over the previous modules as well.
Yeah.
So these last two, I'm really buzzing about. Tell us about them.
Yep. So we've got stroke monitor, which measures how even or uneven your single strokes or your strokes in general are. And then lastly, we've got blast beat trainer, which is what it says on the tin. It's a practice function for getting your blast beats right up to speed.
That's awesome. I mean, the stroke monitor was particularly brutal because you can set the velocity, and if you're in the red, it means you double forte, full volume, and then it highlights that your left hand isn't quite there yet. And yeah, it was pretty humbling for myself. And then the blast beat monitor is literally just so you can practice, speed and endurance.
Yeah.
That combined with the other three ones, and then that first one, which I was particularly excited about. That's a pretty in-depth coach mode, I'd say, for any drum module. So I'm absolutely buzzing about that. But I absolutely love V-drums. I'm absolutely buzzing about this. Michael, thank you so much for coming into the GIF Music Studio today. And yeah, talk us through the 6 brand new kits. I've loved playing these 2 kits with you today, and you showed me absolutely everything that's going on. But yeah, you guys at home, let us know in the comments which kit you're excited about, what you think about the new Roland range. And if you've got any questions about drums whatsoever, let us know in the comments. Please subscribe to our channel. I'm Laurie at Gear for Music. This is Michael from Roland, and we'll see you in the next one.